Salibonani. Ukuthi Forever Association Zimbabwe. What does that mean? Does it mean it's an association that will forever oppress the Zimbabweans? Is that the idea behind the name? Ah, Nangagwa so. Here's one thing I've realized, that amandebele awakazondi. Amandebele asakholisa isimarane egoli. Hayi basakholisa bahleze kahle. Imnandi ibhiye Hillbrow Inn. When that turns sour and things go bad, awukhona ngempela ozokhomba umuzi onotshwala. Angazi khona le eMpumalanga if they are happy with what's going on in Harare. Harare is a crime scene. The scene goes beyond Mnangagwa. I've been pressing lately for not only the removal of the presidency, but also the removal of all military commanders and generals, because they are together with Mnangagwa in this looting spree, including all of those so-called Forever Association Zimbabwe members. Probably some of them are CIOs or some zanopy of politicians. We need all of them gone. We need to flush out the whole system, including the system of opposition politics. Many of you don't agree with me or do not understand it, because you so much fell in love with this chatty nonsense. You don't realize that in actual fact, it is part of the oppressive regime. The Godfather spoke it himself. He's the one who built the whole security systems. One of it is securing the opposition, secure the hearts of the disgruntled people under one opposition, under one chatty leadership, whom we know will never do anything, but will quote Bible verses that he never believes in. He is getting fat and he is getting rich and he enjoying a nice life, and you tell me that there's going to be something that's going to come out of it. There's nothing. That's why they're calling it Forever Association Zimbabwe. And it's going to be forever, because amandebele akazondi asakholisa amawoso eHillbrow. Basokholisa ukudrive imoto ezibhalwe GP like there's something important about it. Wait until South Africa becomes hot. Must I tell you, really, gentlemen, Uchi, you must wait until things go bad in South Africa so that you can arise? Really, 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 must I tell you that? Alibona uba isikhathi sesiphelile, alibona uba ilanga selitshonile. Things are not getting bad. Things are already bad. Mnangagwa is taking people for granted, and not only him, but the soldiers. All right. You need to know who is your enemy. It's not just ED. The Zimbabwe military leadership, all of it must go. In 1945, when General Douglas MacArthur took over Japan after the surrender of the Japanese Empire, that is when the Japanese economy began to flourish. When the US military took over West Germany and the Soviets took over East Germany, it was West Germany's economy that succeeded. When US capitalism began to infuse itself in China after the death of Chairman Mao in 1976, that was the beginning of the Chinese miracle. What I'm saying is that this so-called look east policy that has made us to be friends with China and Russia, which does not help the nation to build this economy, is a terrible foreign policy stance by this current regime, which is just interested in stealing. They do not want accountability, and therefore they align themselves with global leaders that will not demand accountability from them. China will struggle to win the war of dominance because they failed to demand accountability from the smaller states which are under their orbit. Because of that, as citizens of Zimbabwe, it makes us to be more and more attracted and more desiring to be affiliated with the Western order that demands accountability and has brought about and has historically proven to bring about economic development to the countries in which it uh, uh, gets in line with. So, yabona ukuthi this Zimbabwean military rests on its laurels, thinking that China is going to come to its aid and the Russians are going to come to their aid. I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen, but all I can say is that when General Douglas MacArthur forced the surrender of the Imperial Japanese Army, that was the beginning of the Japanese success story. How you are going to take that message is up to you. How you're going to analyze it and scrutinize it is up to you. All I can tell you once again is that when the US military giant General Douglas MacArthur took over Japan after the surrender of the Japanese emperor, that is when Japan succeeded. And all the military generals in Japan were all fired. All the politicians were fired. The emperor himself was forced to speak for the first time. Some Japanese were hearing his voice for the first time, for Japan surrendered, as mighty as it was, as mighty as he had invaded Manchuria and almost took over the Pacific Rim. General Douglas MacArthur in 1964 did what he had to do. I'm just speaking about the history just for fun. How you take it is up to you. But General Douglas MacArthur was a hero. One wonders if he had notes somewhere, and there's some generals who read those notes and learned a thing or two from General Douglas MacArthur. Look him up. But Debele, it's time to catch a wake up. It's almost in the evening. All is God. Have a great afternoon.